Hi, I'm Graham and welcome back to Man vs Film. It's June already and I have another 10 movies for you to watch on Netflix UK this month already. Some really good ones in there and maybe one that isn't so great, but we'll get to that soon enough. So let's start off with number 10. Jeepers Creepers 3. Sheriff Dan Tashtego and a team of creeper hunters enlist the help of Officer Davis Tubbs to help stop the monster's eating spree. It's been a good few years since we've seen the creeper back on the big screen, and this kind of breaks up the chronology a little bit by making this a movie that kind of bridges two of these entries, and it feels a bit of a mess. It's not entirely the best movie that I could probably recommend, but I'm a big fan of the Jeepers Creepers franchise. I was interested to check this out, and you may be in the same boat. Now, it does have some decent special effects, it has some kills, it does have some faults. It has a lot of faults, most notably spends a lot of time in the daylight, and I don't think the movie really works as great on that as it should do. But it does continue this story, it does continue the legacy, and you know, if enough people watch it, we may get a part 4, which could generally be better. Let's not forget Friday the 13th part 4, one of the best entries in that series. Number 9, Bad Neighbours 2. When their new next door neighbours turn out to be a sorority even more debaucherous than the fraternity previously living there, Mac and Kelly team up with their former enemy, Teddy, to bring the girls down. I really like Bad Neighbours 2. It took the original cast, it took the fun parts of that, and it moved them into a movie where it kind of circumvented a lot of the usual college tropes by telling it from the girls' side of the story. You know, these weren't crazy girls, they were girls at college having fun as much way that guys do, and it just kind of snowballed into the same way that the men did. You know, but they were being sort of persecuted because of their femininity. It's an interesting take, and but is primarily a comedy movie that does deliver on the laughs as well. Number 8, Waiting. It's the dinner shift at Shenanigans. Dan, the clueless boss, assigns Mitch, a trainee, to Monty, the smooth talker who chases girls for one-night stands. Dean, a waiter, feels that life is passing him by. Dan offers him the assistant manager job and gives him until midnight to decide. I really like these movies that are based within pretty much one day, and it just allows a lot of these characters to work out all their problems. Life isn't like this, not everything gets solved or sorted out in one day, but in a movie form, it really does take on something special. This is a kind of silly comedy movie, but it has a nice character work in it as well, some really good comedic moments as well. Terrific movie, it's one that I watched a lot and I love going back to. Number 7, Lake Placid. When a man is eaten alive by an unknown creature, the local game warden teams up with a paleontologist from New York to find the beast. Add to the mix an eccentric philanthropist with a penchant for crocs, and here we go. This quiet remote lake is suddenly the focus of an intense search for a crocodile with a taste for live animals and people. I love monster movies, and I particularly love them when they're tongue-in-cheek and they're poking fun at the kind of tropes that you have in these kind of movies. The cast are excellent, they really sort of know the kind of movie they're in. They're tongue-in-cheek, but they're playing it straight. They're having a lot of fun here. We got a giant crocodile terrorising this lake. We got a foul-mouthed old woman who just spits violently any chance she gets, and altogether it makes for a really entertaining movie. Number 6, The Good Neighbour. A pair of mischievous high school kids create the illusion of a haunting on an unsuspecting elderly neighbour, while keeping his every reaction under surveillance. A series of coincidences leads to a tragedy. James Caan is the neighbour in question here, the one who has been spied on and made to feel as if his house is haunted by these two wayward kids, one who may have a grudge against him or may not. Either way, they're doing this under the guise of a school project, something that they have to do. That's their rationale for doing these horrendous things to this character. James Caan is primarily on screen through surveillance cameras, and you really do get a sense of this character, of the situation that he is in, where he is in his life, and it's masterful. He does such a terrific performance for somebody that you hardly hear speak throughout the movie. I think it's great work. It's one of those kind of thrillers where you're never quite sure where it's going to go next, but just reading the synopsis, you've got a fair idea of where you think it's going to go. Really terrific movie, well worth checking out. Number 5, Taxi Driver. A mentally unstable veteran works as a nighttime taxi driver in New York City, where the perceived decadence and sleaze fuels his urge for violent action, while attempting to liberate a 12-year-old prostitute. I'm a huge Martin Scorsese fan, and we know that he worked really well with Robert De Niro. This movie has perpetrated the zeitgeist for decades because it's a fantastic movie. It's a movie that gets under your skin, and that's really a testament to the story itself, because it's not a nice story. It's not a heartwarming piece of fiction. This is the kind of thing that is grimy, dirty, gets under your skin and stays with you. And it has lasted the test of time for a reason, because it's well written, it's well acted, it's well directed. It is just a fantastically put together movie on all fronts. Number 4, The Final Master. A Wing Chun master has to defeat 8 martial arts schools to open his own school, yet he has become a chess piece to the local power dynamics. I had a lot of fun with The Final Master. It's a martial arts movie where it's all about skill. It's not about killing the opponent, it's about letting him know that you are better. There is lots of behind the scenes political power games, struggles at play of lots of characters that don't really know that this is going on. And people get put in situations that, you know, they aren't expecting to be put in and have to sort of fight back against that. There is some astounding fight sequences in this movie, and it's all controlled, minimal movement, and just letting people know that I can better you with just a slight movement. It's terrific work. I thought it was dead exciting, dead interesting, and I had a real good time with The Final Master. Number 3, The Social Network. Harvard student Mark Zuckerberg creates the social networking site that would have become known as Facebook, but is later sued by 2 brothers who claim that he stole their idea, and the co-founder who was later squeezed out of the business. The Facebook movie, the movie that everybody kind of poked fun at before they saw it, but it's directed by David Fincher, and it's fantastic. It's one of these movies that you kind of forget how good it is until you stick it on, and it just draws you in. It is captivating. It just holds your attention and just lets the movie play in front of you with this story of friendships that have been abandoned and broken and just torn down. But it's just so much of this is just fascinating. It's just a really engaging movie that whenever it is on, it captures my attention and I cannot tear myself away from it. Number 2, Would You Rather. A young woman desperate to help her sickly brother accepts a dinner invitation to what seems to be easy money. As soon as she arrives to dinner, she realises that playing the game is deadly for its losers. She and several others spend the night being terrorised in a game of Would You Rather. Jeffrey Combs plays Lambrick, this eccentric rich guy who is willing to help one person out of these 8, but they have to jump through all his hoops to do it. It's a simple game of Would You Rather. Would you rather do A completely horrible thing, or would you rather do B, an equally completely horrible thing that could mean pain to you or to somebody else at that table? But it never really goes for the gore. It doesn't go for the easy horror tropes. It leaves it to the imagination. You get to see some of the aftermath, but some of it is just left to play in your mind, and that is so much worse than anything else. And the actors are all pretty good. The characters are all pretty fun. You get some you like, you get some you hate, you get some alliances made and broken. It's a movie that is generally really entertaining. Number 1, The World's End. 20 years after attempting their epic pub crawl, 5 childhood friends reunite when one of them becomes hell-bent on trying the drinking marathon again. They are convinced to stage an encore by mate Gary King, a man trapped at the cigarette end of his teens who drags his reluctant pals to their hometown once again and attempts to reach the fabled pub, The World's End. Quite often gets forgotten about in the Cornetto trilogy because Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz tend to overshadow it. What you find here is a movie that's put tremendously well together, from its editing to its story structure to the way it plays out. It is marvellous. It's a movie that I watched last year for a podcast I was doing. I ended up watching it several times that week because I just enjoyed it more and more as I started to analyse it and spot all the patterns that were there. And that opening 10 to 15 minute segment, which just goes like gangbusters. It's so rapid, it's so fast, there's so many music cues in it. It's just tremendous, and you can kind of see where Edgar Wright has taken that and gone off to do Baby Driver after it. Tremendous work. A movie that often gets forgotten about, and that's a real shame because it is terrific. So there we have it. 10 movies for June on Netflix UK. I'd love to know if there's something else I've missed. Let me know in the comment box, something that I could check out myself and maybe on next month's list. And I will see you next month on Man vs Film.